Um, I am not sure what I'm saying right now. Start over. Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching. Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. And just sometimes I forget to let everybody know. Actually, most of the time I've noticed, I forget to let everybody know that this is mainly a knitting podcast where I talk about what I have been knitting, the yarns that I am playing with, projects that I plan on doing, hopefully. Sometimes I talk also about books that I'm reading or listening to on audio. Every now and then I'll mention a TV show or a movie that I'm watching, and sometimes I throw in a little bit of my life that's going on. I try to podcast once a week if I can. And if you'd like to get a hold of me on social media, I am the Tangled Cat on Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. Okay, now I've said that. So if you've been watching, you'll know that now for December, I started a couple of shawls by Amba O'Brien, both this year's and last year's Advent patterns. So I have been making a lot of progress on both of those. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So let's start with the Adventurous wrap. And where is it? Where? This is where I'm at so far. The last time I showed this, I was down to where that stitch marker is. So I've knit, sorry, my cord is curling up, but I've knit all of this here from this point down. And again, these were a bunch of minis that I have collected throughout the year. They're from different dyers, different shops on Etsy. So before I had knit the first 4 colors. So it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I've done all of that. I've done 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is what I've added so far this past week. So that's where I'm getting all of this. And I love how some of the colors are so subtle that you really don't see the color changes. Like in here, there is colors 4 and 5, and they're very, very similar, but you really don't see the transition all that much. But here between colors 1 and 2, 2 and 3, the colors are more obvious, and that kind of happens a little more down here as well. So I have started color number 9, which is this one. This is one of the ones that I got from Yarn to You off of Etsy, and oh, it's so pretty. I'm super excited. I'm going to work on that one tonight. And I'm hoping to also get started on color number 10, which is a little bit similar, but one is more tealy brown and this one is more like blue brown. So this one's also going to be a subtle transition, but that's what I want to work on tonight. Hopefully I can get those 2 done. So I am a little bit ahead on this wrap. The other one that I have been working on is the Adventurer wrap. And this one I'm doing on sport weight because I decided I was going to work from stash. So instead of the fingering weight that's called for, I'm using sport, and I've gone up to a US 6, 4.0 millimeter. So this is where I'm at so far, and I am loving it. So I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm in the beginnings of my 7th color. So I'm definitely a couple of days behind on this one. But I'm starting to get into the pinks. And again, oops, this one, the yarn that I'm using is actually 100% acrylic. It's Herstner's 2-ply Afghan yarn. But it does work well in simple lace patterns. It blocks actually really well. I wet block it like I do all my wool lace items, and it just seems to hold really well. for simple lace patterns. Anything super intricate, I don't know. I haven't tried, but this is what I'm using. And this particular color that I'm starting is the pink peony. And I think after this comes, it's going to start fading into a few darker pinks. And I can't remember after that, but I'm super excited. I'm loving how it's looking. Very fun. Having a really, really good time with this. And I've been trying to keep up with the threads about this on Ravelry, but my goodness, if I'm gone for a day, there's like 900 posts on that thread, and like I can't keep up with all of that. So I decided to give up trying to keep up, and I'm just going through and hitting love and like and whatever on all of the photos because I just can't read all of that. I just don't have the time. I'd be there all day and I'd never get any knitting done. So I haven't been doing that. And I just realized that I didn't change my top. I'm actually in my pajamas right now, and I meant to change into something a little more suitable. But whatever, it's Sunday evening, and as soon as I got off of work today, I only worked 4 hours, so I got off at 10. I did a little bit of shopping. I went to do a few little, get some stocking stuffers and stuff for are doing Secret Santa at work, so I went to go get a few small items to get ready for that. Then I came home and I put my pajamas on and I did some stuff around the house, and then I took a nap and I woke up and I said, oh, I'm gonna podcast. And I forgot to change my top. But whatever. I live in my pajamas. When I'm home, I'm in my pajamas. So whatever. It's a relaxing Sunday, and that's that. Don't judge me too harshly. So I'm also going to talk about some things that I finished. Yes, I finished stuff. It's amazing. So one of the things that I finished is the big rice cowl. And I actually made it quite a bit narrower than what was called for in the pattern. Just because this was one skein of the Knit Picks Mighty Stitch. I think it was bulky. I can't remember. And this is the ash colorway. But this was 136 yards. The pattern called for well over 400 yards. So that would have been maybe about 3 of these. And that's just too thick. That would have been way too wide, I think, for here in New Mexico. We don't need it quite so, we don't need to be quite so bundled up. But it's a nice fit. It's nice and loose if you want to just wear it dangling down. And the loop is long enough that you can twist it around and it'll fit nicely in your coat or whatever. And this is exactly the color that my daughter wanted. And I think she's going to like it. And I was going to save this for Christmas, but I think I want to give it to her now because it is kind of chilly. And I think that she'll enjoy wearing it. And I've got some other gifts for her already. So I'm going to give her that. So this, again, is the big rice cowl. And really, it's seed stitch. It's a free pattern, but it's seed stitch. And it's so squishy in this big floofy yarn. And it was done on a US 15 needle. I think that's a 10 millimeter. It went by so fast. I did buy 2 skeins thinking at least I could do 2, but it started to get really, really wide. It just got wide enough to where I thought that was enough. So I decided to end it. And if it turns out that she wants it a little bit more, I do have the other skein and I can undo the bind off and add some more. But I'm actually thinking of using the other skein for some quick fingerless mitts for her. She's been wanting that. So that would be nice if I could maybe make her a matching set and give her those for Christmas. But we'll see. And the other thing I finished was something super, super small. And this was done with some yarn. It was some Knit Picks Stroll yarn that I over dyed. The original color was called blue topaz, so it was kind of a tealy color. But it was a solid color. It was I overdyed it with food coloring, using the Wilton's food coloring gels, and it was using black and the royal blue. And so this is the colors that it ended up being, and it's really kind of hard to see. But these are headphone covers because my son works in a call center and he's got headphones and he wanted something soft for his ears. So he had actually seen some co-workers who crochet. They had crocheted themselves some covers for theirs. And so he came home and he asked me to make him some. So I found a really cool pattern on Ravelry. And during your bind off, you add in a hair tie. It's really cool. She even provides a video. It's a free pattern. And she provides a link to a video of how to incorporate the hairband in there so that, you know, it'll stay nice and snug on the headphones. So it's really cool, and I think he's gonna like it. He's really into blues, so super excited. I wear headphones as well at work, and I tried them on mine and they fit, so I'm thinking that they're pretty universally sized, hopefully. If not, I can make him some more. I've got quite a bit of this yarn left. It was a leftover yarn that I overdyed, so I only had maybe 150 yards, and this didn't take anywhere near that, so I have a little bit left if I need to make more. And I may make him more anyway, just so that he has 2 pair. So I made those. Very fun, quick and easy. It starts in the center, so it was a little bit awkward using the DPNs, trying to get everything situated. And then once you go a few rounds, then your needles are fine. It's really simple from there, but it's that first part, it's a little bit awkward, but not bad at all. I also got some yarn in the mail. Shocking, I know. And again, super shocking that some of the yarn that I ordered was from the Chemnitz Creations shop on Etsy. So again, I participated in another mystery dye-along, mystery dyeing live stream that Rebecca from Chemnitz on Chemnitz Tutorials was doing. So she got several different bases that you ordered on her Etsy shop. You picked the base that you wanted and then which number you wanted to be, because she was going to do 8 different skeins, and you picked which order you wanted to be featured on the live stream. So I had picked number 4, and what she used this time was the AmeriColor food colorings, and there were 50 in the package that she had, and she did this whole cute little thing where you roll the dice and it ends up, you know, how that tells you which color it is, and then she rolls again and it tells you how many drops of that color, and then you roll the dice again to see how many actual different colors to use. It was just this fun little game, and watching her play, and those colors, though her yarns came out so pretty. It was fun to watch, and when mine came up I was super excited because it ended up being my colors. So this is what I got. I ended up ordering the 100% superwash merino in a worsted, and she used, let's see, I don't think this one says, but I'm pretty sure that this was turquoise and maybe a black, and this is what I got. A really pretty foresty green and like a heather color, heathery purple. Sorry, my lighting is terrible, but I really like it. It's just so me. And while I was there, when I was ordering, and this was, you know, as far as I knew, this was still going to be a mystery yarn, I went ahead and thought, I'm going to buy another worsted yarn that she had done a while back, and it had been sitting there for a while, and I kept thinking, maybe I want it, maybe I don't know. So this one she had done a while back on another of her videos, and this one is the same base, and she used grape Kool-Aid. Is that what she says? Grape Kool-Aid. And she dip dyed it, and she ends up, you know, with this mauve color, and it ends up in this really pretty, the way the colors break, it ends up in this really pale ice blue. And so when I saw what was happening on this mystery, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna go together. Like they kind of match. There's some of the same purpley, heathery mauve colors. This icy blue really goes well with the pretty foresty green. I think these are going to be something together. How many yards? There's 220 yards in each skein, so that's 440 yards. I think I could do a shawlette, maybe a cowl. I'm thinking maybe a shawlette though. Somehow incorporate these two together, because by accident I ended up with colors that work together. Look at that. So excited. So super happy. Thank you, Rebecca. And they came really quick. I was surprised. So that's exciting. And then I had to do it. I had to get more Christmas yarn just because I've been following this person on Etsy. I'm not Etsy. On Instagram for a while, and I just love her colors. And then she said, oh, we have this back in stock again. So I ran over to her shop, and what I got were it's yarn from I Knit to Purl To, and this is her Land of Misfit Toys colorway. And isn't it just that? Like so bright and fun and wild, and look at that dark, deep. That is like the most amazing green right there. It's so dark, but yet it's kind of on the blue side. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, April's in love. So I had to get two of them, and I know that I want to knit them together into a shawl, but they needed something to go with it. So I went through my stash. As soon as this came in, I went through my stash, and I was like, what am I going to use? They have to be used together. So I remembered that a while back in the summer, I had ordered these yarns from Pandia's Jewels. This was a squidgy, and these are actually not quite as there. That's about right. These were on her squidgy base. This was Desolation and Dragon Sickness, and this one was Here Be Dragons, the green one. And those are like the perfect Christmas red and green, and so I wanted to use those with this, because there is that red right here, and then of course there's green. Oh my god, it's gonna be so pretty. I don't know what pattern quite yet, but I'm going to put them all together, and I am going to be super Christmassy. Maybe not this Christmas, but next Christmas, I am going to have a super Christmassy shawl. And I'm thinking I'm going to have some left over that I may end up making a pair of mittens or socks or something. So, very, very, very excited about that. So speaking of Christmas, I took my mom to see the new Grinch movie. I was thinking it was one of those movies that I thought I could just wait to watch, you know, get it on Netflix and just hang out at the house. But then I found out that Pentatonics is in it, my favoritist group. I love them so much. And if you don't know who Pentatonics is, they're an a cappella group. They got a lot of songs out. They're pretty famous. But they are in that movie. Well, they aren't in it. Their song is in it, and it's in one of the first scenes in the movie. And I found out that song was going to be on there, and I was super excited. Their song "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen" is in there, and I was like, I have to go see it in the theater. So I decided I was going to take my mom, and we went to a theater here in town, which is, so far as I know, one of the only theaters where you can actually you can order food, you can order drinks, including alcoholic drinks, in the theater. It's really cool. And my mom I think she'd been there before, but she's got Alzheimer's, and she didn't remember that she had been there before. So right before the movie started, we're waiting for our order, and everybody else around us is getting their orders. She was thoroughly shocked and amazed and thrilled that we were ordering food, and she could see somebody with a margarita sitting next to us, and she was just amazed. Oh my God, this is so amazing. I can't believe this. She had a blast. And then the movie came on. She was just so excited. She was laughing her butt off. She was having a good time. So we enjoyed a night out watching The Grinch. Oh, and the other reason why I had to see it too is because I thoroughly enjoy Benedict Cumberbatch. So Pentatonics, Benedict Cumberbatch, all in one place. Had to go. So we ended up having a really good time, my mom and I. So that's what we did this week. Let's see. I haven't really been watching a whole lot of shows. I'm kind of behind on some of my shows because I got caught up here on YouTube with several of the podcasts that I watch, and they're doing their Vlogmas. So I've been doing that. I've been trying to keep up with all the Vlogmas podcasts, and actually Rebecca over at Kim Knits Tutorials was doing her version, but it was Hanukkah oriented. So it's been really fun knitting and watching all of those. So I haven't been watching a whole lot of television. And I haven't really been doing a whole lot of reading. I'm maybe in the 3rd chapter of The Whispering by Sarah Rain. And I haven't even opened up the book for, man, it just went right out of my head. What is it that we're reading now in December? I'll put it right here. But anyway, I haven't even been reading that, but I found out that it is on audio through the Albuquerque Library. And being the nerd that I am, I have a library card for the city I live in, which is Rio Rancho. I have a library card for a neighboring city called Corrales, and I have a library card for Albuquerque. And it's an audio version at one of the Albuquerque libraries. And it's streaming, so I can put it on my phone. So I'm not even going to worry about trying to read that one. I'm going to go ahead and listen to it. We'll see about that though, because like I said, I'm still in the middle of all these Vlogmases and everything, but it's a short book, so I'll get through it rather quickly. And then I also am desperately in the need to reread or re-listen. I'll probably listen to it. Watership Down by Richard Adams, because I'm super, super thrilled to know that there is going to be a television version of it. Back in the 70s, when I was a kid, there was a cartoon. It was a little bit of a dark cartoon, a little bit scary, well, which the book is really, even though it was initially written, I believe that he started it. Richard Adams originally wrote that story for his little girls on long commutes that they would have, and he just started kind of telling the story, and it sort of went from there. But it is a little heavy. So even though it was a cartoon I saw as a kid, a movie-length cartoon, it was pretty dark, pretty scary, and I know that a lot of people were very disturbed by it because it's kind of graphic. Then the story is, I think that was one of the first stories that I read that wasn't like a picture book. It was one of my first deep dives into big chapter books. I think before that, the only chapter books that I had really read were Little House on the Prairie and the Chronicles of Narnia. So then comes along this rather large book, and it ended up being Watership Down. But it was just something so intriguing to me. I loved it. It was about rabbits, but it wasn't like the little kid books about rabbits or other animals where animals are doing people things, like, you know, pushing a mama rabbit, pushing her baby rabbits in a stroller, or cooking at a stove, or driving in cars. This was as realistic of a fictional story about rabbits as you could get. They even had their own language, and I was thoroughly fascinated by it. I first read it when I was 10 years old, and I've read that story countless times, and I've had several copies of it just because I keep rereading it, and I end up needing another copy. But now in December, and I think it's somewhere near Christmas, that they're BBC and I believe Netflix are also involved in this, and they're going to come out with a multi-episode, what is it called? A mini-series that's it's animated, but it's CGI, so it's going to look a little bit more realistic, I guess. And I'm super, super excited. Oh, I'm just hoping that they do a good job, because this is my favorite book of all time. I mean, I love Lord of the Rings, and I love Chronicles of Narnia, and this one is, to me, up there. It's better. It's my favorite one. It's the first one for me. It was my first real love of a book. So I'm hoping they do such a good job on it, because the book is wonderful, and I can't wait. They've got some amazing actors in it. Ben Kingsley, and they've got James McAvoy, and just a whole slew of other people just voicing the characters, and I'm so excited. I can't wait, but I'm also a little scared because I want it to be perfect. So in preparation for that, I want to listen to the book. And actually, I don't know that I've listened to an audio version of it. I've always read it. You know, I've always read the paper book. So I want to get that done before the show comes out, so that I can have it fresh in my mind and then watch it. Not that I want to compare exactly. I mean, I guess I kind of do. We all kind of do it. It's just the nature of, you know, books going onto the big screen or whatever. But I do know that it's going to have to be its own thing, and there are going to have to be changes and concessions made and stuff like that. But I do want the story, the original story, fresh in my mind. I just love it so much. So I'm super happy about that. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it done. I did order it from the Albuquerque Library. I'm on hold because apparently everybody has the same thought that I do. So I may not get it for a while, but okay. So that's really been all that I've done this week. I plan on working some more on my shawls. I really don't have anything else for you tonight. I'm going to go in and warm up some dinner and relax some more. And I don't have to work tomorrow. I took the day off because I've got a special event with my son tomorrow evening, and I didn't want to risk having to stay late at work. So I took the whole day off, which is going to be nice. It's so nice waking up naturally and not without an alarm. So I'm very pleased about that. So me and my pajamas are going to go and spend the rest of the evening knitting and eating dinner and stuff. And I will see you all next week. Thank you for coming to visit with me, and I hope you enjoyed watching the show, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I've got some yarn strewn across the bed, and then there's Aggie. Hi, pretty.